One of my favorite statements that I don't like to hear very often, by the way, welcome to the video. One of my favorite statements that I'm just not a big fan of hearing is, don't worry, we know who wins in the end. I've been traveling all over the country and outside the country for many, many years, and I've given many talks, and a lot of the presentations, a lot of the talks that I give and the things I talk about are serious matter. For example, I talk about the apparitions of the Blessed Mother, the church-approved apparitions, and the warnings in particular in the last 100 years, where she's constantly coming to the world telling us how serious it is we repent, that we make some changes, telling us of chastisements, that we've had and are coming. And people will say to me, oh, don't worry, Doug, we know who wins in the end. Look, I want to make something clear. With all due respect to everybody who says that and feels that way, God bless you. But you know what? I've never once been worried about who wins in the end. I'm not. What concerns me is all the collateral damage along the way. For example, in 1917, when the Blessed Mother said to the 3 children in Fatima, she mentioned this July 13th, 1917, that there would be a second world war if man did not stop offending God. And there was a second world war. Now, I don't for a moment think that the Blessed Mother was saying it was going to be the end of times when she said that, or that everything was lost when she said that. But there were 70 million people, give or take, who died during that war, and millions more who suffered until they died with the memory and the pain and the agony of what took place in that war. All that collateral damage, all the pain and suffering and agony that did not have to happen if mankind would have responded to the messages of the Blessed Mother in 1917. So we hear these messages still today. Quap in 1980, she warns us on October 13th that we are hastening the arrival of a third world war. In Rwanda in 1982, when she showed a couple visionaries the images of the Rwandan genocide that would take place 12 years later, and the nearly 1 million people that suffered and died brutally in the civil war over 3 months' time, and the millions more who have to suffer even today with the fallout of that genocide that happened. I don't think anybody was concerned about who wins in the end with regards to the battle between good and evil. God wins, of course, but people suffer in the process if we do not respond to the messages. One of the things that concerns me about that statement is, does it cause any of us to relax even a little bit when it comes to the effort we should be making to tell the world about the seriousness of our times and the need for prayer and conversion and reparation? Does that statement, that attitude of, well, we know who wins in the end, so let's not really throw ourselves into the fight, is that what it's doing? If it does that even a little bit, then we must rethink our attitude towards that statement. Again, I've never been concerned about who wins in the end. I know God wins in the end. My concern is along the way, all the pain and the suffering that doesn't have to happen if we take seriously the reality of this battle. The spiritual realm and the natural realm that we live in, we must be better prepared for, better trained in, and more active and engaged in this fight.